something is cracking open inside Hollywood right now, and it starts with one voice that nobody expected to hear.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
That wasn't an accident. That wasn't just fame pressure. That was a confession wrapped in pain from someone who survived a machine designed to consume young artists whole.
We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
A grown man, a child, and a secret that couldn't be spoken out loud. Ask yourself, what kind of dream can't be described?
I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Her. He said her. And people in Hollywood believe they know exactly who he meant. Because right now, word is spreading that Portia de Rossi, Ellen DeGeneres' own wife, has allegedly been sharing what she witnessed behind closed doors. And if even half of what's being said is true, then what happened to Justin Bieber didn't stop with Justin Bieber. It continued. And the next name on that list is Billie Eilish, but here's what nobody is connecting. Let's start with Portia de Rossi, because that's where this story gets its foundation. For years, Portia existed in Ellen's shadow publicly, the supportive wife, the quiet presence, the woman who smiled at red carpets and said little about what happened behind the gates of their Montecito estate or inside the circles Ellen moved through so comfortably. But according to sources close to the situation, something has allegedly shifted. Whispers started circulating, not from tabloids, not from anonymous accounts, but from people reportedly inside the industry itself. The claim that Portia de Rossi has allegedly begun speaking to people she trusts about what she reportedly witnessed during Ellen's reign at the top of Hollywood. And what she's allegedly describing, according to those rumors, paints a picture that goes far beyond a toxic workplace. Now let's be clear, Portia has not made any public statement. No press release, no interview, no social media post. What's being discussed exists in the realm of alleged insider information. But in Hollywood, the most important revelations almost always start exactly this way, as whispers before they become earthquakes. So what is allegedly being said? According to the rumors circulating in industry spaces, Portia's alleged concern centers on a very specific pattern she reportedly observed. Young artists, particularly young artists who were rising fast, who had massive public appeal, who were magnetic in the way only generational talents are, were reportedly being funneled through a specific pipeline. A pipeline that started with exposure, escalated with access, and ended with those artists being bound, professionally, emotionally, financially, to a network of powerful figures they could never fully escape. And two names keep surfacing at the center of that pipeline: Ellen DeGeneres and Jeffrey Epstein. Now here's where you need to understand the architecture of this alleged system, because it wasn't random, it was structured. Think about what Joe Rogan pointed out when he described what happens to children raised inside the entertainment machine.
That's kind of what you're doing to a person when you raise a person famous. If you take some reality star from the time they're 5 and then they're in a sitcom and a movie, and then you've gone through your whole, I don't know why I said reality star, but you've gone through your whole life. If you're that person, if you're Justin Bieber, you've gone through your whole life.
Under that eye.
Under the eye, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's not just philosophy. That's a description of psychological vulnerability. A child raised under that level of scrutiny, that level of dependency on industry approval, becomes someone who can be shaped, someone who can be directed, someone who doesn't know how to say no to powerful people, because powerful people have always been the ones who controlled whether the lights stay on or go dark. And that vulnerability, according to what's allegedly being discussed about Portia's reported concerns, is exactly what this pipeline allegedly exploited. Here's how it reportedly worked. Step 1, identification. Find the young talent early. Find them before they have lawyers they trust, before they have a team that's truly loyal to them, before they understand how the machine actually operates. Justin Bieber was 13. Billie Eilish was 15 when she first broke. The age is not a coincidence. Step 2. Introduction. Connect them with someone who feels safe. Someone famous, someone warm, someone the public loves. Ellen DeGeneres, sitting behind that daytime TV desk with the dancing and the giveaways, was the perfect entry point. She felt like America's living room. Nobody questioned what happened in her actual living room.
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party.
A different type of party. Said with a laugh, said like it meant nothing. But sit with that for a second. A different type of party. What kind of party requires a separate clarification? Step 3. Exposure. Once access was established, once the young artist was comfortable, once they trusted the people around them, that's when the doors allegedly opened to deeper rooms. Private rooms. Invite-only spaces. Environments where, according to what's been alleged about Diddy's world specifically, phones were banned, security was controlled, and what happened inside stayed inside. And reportedly, according to the alleged Portia narrative, Jeffrey Epstein's network was not separate from this. It was parallel to it, overlapping to it, because the same elite circles that moved through Diddy's world also moved through Epstein's world. The same logic applied. Power, access, isolation, silence. Justin Bieber's story didn't happen in isolation. It happened because a system was already in place to receive him. Usher brought him in. Usher had been through his own version of this world. He navigated it, survived it, and then turned around and handed a 13-year-old boy to the same network.
I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go full crazy.
Full crazy with a child. And then silence about what that actually meant. Now here's the layer most people skip over. It wasn't just Diddy. Ellen was in that same orbit. She had Bieber on her show repeatedly. She gave him nicknames. She positioned herself as someone who cared, someone warm, someone safe. But safe people don't exist inside unsafe networks without knowing the network exists.
Would you rather have to be naked on stage?
A grown woman, a teenage boy, national television. And that was the version the public got to see. The question everyone should be asking is what the version behind closed doors looked like. And Bieber has told us in the only way someone who survived this kind of environment can, that what he went through left a mark.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn.
That's not someone talking about paparazzi stress. That's someone describing a specific kind of isolation. The kind that happens when the people who are supposed to protect you are the same people engineering your exposure. And according to what's allegedly being shared in Portia's reported conversations, that engineering didn't stop with Justin. It evolved. It got smarter. And it found a new subject. Billie Eilish emerged at 15 with a sound, a look, and a cultural gravity that the industry had never quite seen before. She wasn't manufactured, she was discovered raw, entirely herself. And that authenticity was precisely what made her valuable to the machine now. Billie has spoken publicly about the psychological weight of fame at a young age. She's spoken about body image, about mental health, about feeling watched, about feeling like her identity was being consumed by public expectation. But there's a layer to her story that, according to the rumor connected to Portia's alleged revelations, goes deeper than standard fame pressure.
I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
The alleged claim is this, that Billie Eilish was reportedly steered in the early stages of her career through the same kinds of connections that shaped Justin Bieber's trajectory. Not identically, the specifics differ, but the architecture was allegedly the same. Powerful figures, controlled environments, young artists, and a transaction, not monetary, but something harder to name and harder to escape, that allegedly took place place in exchange for the level of access and platform she received now. Bieber himself hinted at this when he spoke about Billie. He knew something. He recognized something in her situation that mirrored his own. And the word protect, the specific choice of that word, suggests he believed there was something she needed protecting from. Something specific. Something industry-shaped. The alleged Portia narrative reportedly suggests that Ellen's circle, and by extension, the broader network that Ellen allegedly helped maintain access to, was present in conversations about Billie's early career positioning. Not in a way that was visible publicly, but in the background. In the rooms where decisions about young artists get made before those artists even know decisions are being made about them. Now, here is where the story becomes something more than Hollywood gossip. Because Jeffrey Epstein was not just a criminal operating in isolation. He was a node, a connection point inside a vast network of powerful people who traded in access, influence, and silence. And according to multiple accounts, including testimony, investigative reporting, and the allegations surrounding Diddy's world, that network overlapped significantly with the entertainment industry elite now placed Ellen inside that framework. Because Ellen was not a peripheral figure in Hollywood. She was central. She had access to everyone. She was one of the most powerful television personalities in the world for over 2 decades. And her friendship with Diddy, documented on camera, casual, comfortable, places her in direct proximity to a world that is now understood to have been deeply dangerous. The question that allegedly emerges from Portia's reported conversations is not whether Ellen knew Epstein. The question is whether Ellen's role in the broader network, facilitating access, maintaining connections, keeping the machine looking normal on the surface, placed young artists like Bieber and Eilish in paths that led directly or indirectly to Epstein-adjacent spaces. And that question, once asked, cannot be easily dismissed because the pattern Rogan identified is real. That's the system. That's what allegedly happened to Justin. That's what allegedly happened to Bryce Gray, to August Alsina, to others whose names surface in these conversations as collateral damage of the same machine. And if Portia de Rossi, someone who lived inside Ellen's world, who saw the calls being made, who was present for the relationships being maintained, if she is allegedly telling people that Billie Eilish was steered through a version of the same system, then what we're looking at is not an isolated scandal. It is a generational crime against young artists, repeating itself, wearing different faces each time. Here is what the powerful always count on. Silence. Not because the people who experience these things want to stay silent, but because the cost of speaking is engineered to be unbearable. Your career, your reputation, your relationships, everything you built inside the machine becomes leverage against you the moment you consider telling the truth about how the machine operates. That's why Justin Bieber never said it directly. He said it sideways, in emotional interviews, in songs, in the way he looked in old footage versus the way he looks now, in the protective instinct he expressed for Billie Eilish.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Turn their back. Present tense disguised as past tense, because the people who turned their backs were still very much present in the industry, still powerful, still protected. And that is allegedly what Portia de Rossi has reportedly reached a breaking point about. According to what's being circulated, the alleged claim is that watching the Diddy situation unfold, watching the legal cases, the accusations, the names surfacing, reportedly triggered something in Portia. A reckoning, a realization that the silence she had maintained was no longer something she could morally sustain. Now again, no public statement exists. No verified leak. What exists is a rumor circulating with enough specificity and enough internal consistency that people inside the industry are taking it seriously. And in Hollywood, that is often how the truth starts moving before it fully arrives. Let's address the phrase directly, because it sounds dramatic, it sounds metaphorical, but in context of what's being alleged, mind, it is neither. Selling your soul in the entertainment industry allegedly refers to a very specific transaction. You give something, your compliance, your silence, your body, your autonomy, your psychological boundaries, and in exchange, you receive access to the machine, the record deal, the television platform, the cosign from the powerful figure who opens every door. The alleged soul transaction is not supernatural. It is systemic. And what's being alleged about Justin Bieber and Billie Eilish through the lens of Portia's reported conversations is that both of them entered that transaction, not necessarily willingly, not necessarily knowingly, because the transaction is often not presented as a transaction at all. It's presented as opportunity, as mentorship, as love from people who genuinely want to help you.
Everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Love as a mechanism of control. That's what's being described. And once you see it that way, everything, every interaction, every appearance, every nickname, every invitation to a party that starts at 9:30 and moves to a different type of party after that reads completely differently. Here's where we land. The Diddy legal situation has cracked something open that the industry spent decades keeping sealed. Names are surfacing. Connections are being traced, and people who were previously protected by proximity to power are finding that the protection is starting to erode. Ellen DeGeneres stepped back from public life quietly. No dramatic exit, no farewell tour, just less visible, less present. And while silence proves nothing, timing in situations like this is never irrelevant. Portia's alleged willingness to speak, even through indirect channels, even through whispered conversations rather than press conferences, reportedly represents a fracture in the wall. Because when someone who lived inside the system starts letting information move outward, the system loses its most powerful tool, deniability. And if what's being alleged is true, if there was a deliberate pipeline, if Ellen was a knowing participant in funneling young artists toward dangerous environments, if Jeffrey Epstein's network touched the careers of artists as significant as Justin Bieber and Billie Eilish, then what we are watching right now is the beginning of an accountability moment that Hollywood has never truly faced. Not a cancellation, not a controversy. An actual reckoning. Justin Bieber was 13 years old when the machine got hold of him. Billie Eilish was 15. Both of them produced art that moved millions of people. Both of them showed visible signs of psychological weight that went beyond normal fame pressure. Both of them exist in conversations that keep circling back to the same names, the same circles, the same closed-door environments, and now, allegedly, the woman who lived closest to one of the most powerful figures at the center of that machine is reportedly starting to let the truth breathe.
I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything.
He said anybody, not just Billie, anybody. Every young artist who walks through those doors not knowing what's waiting on the other side. The question is no longer whether the machine exists. The question is whether enough people are willing to say what they know before another generation of young artists gets fed into it. Portia de Rossi allegedly knows things. And if the whispers are right, she may not be willing to stay quiet much longer. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Portia will actually go public? Do you think Billie Eilish's story connects to Justin's in the ways being described? And if more insiders start speaking, how much bigger does this get? Like this video if this opened your eyes. Subscribe because this story is nowhere near finished. And stay locked in because the next chapter of this is coming faster than anyone expects.